Okay. Looks like we are live and we're cooking. All right. I'm using this like multi-stream thing, which is like super interesting. Okay, so today I want to make some like EDM mixed with hip hop. I'm doing this project called The Other Guys with the homie Dennis. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? Always gotta have the 4 on the floor. It's so weird. I always actually have to touch the keyboard too. I'm old school like that. Okay. I really like that noise. I feel like it needs to be shorter. It's cool. You can like trim this stuff and put your own reverb and stuff on it. Nice. Cool. I got the limiter on there. I might want to up the tempo a little bit, but see, same thing with that. I just want to, there we go. Make it a little bit tighter. Hey. Cool. I actually have this trick for hi-hats too, where I think I actually have a preset saved. You can go, hat delay. So you hear the background. I'll turn it up a little bit. So it's kind of got this like galloping feeling. And if you just turn that down in the mix, it also has this filter button right here. You see that? You can activate this filter button on and off, and then it's cutting out all those low frequencies. So when you put it on, it's just like sneakily in the background and just adds like a lot of you feel me? Okay, so we can loop that up. Cool, so we have a nice little basis for drums here. And then for sounds, man, what am I gonna do? I really feel like I want to, I don't know what's going on. Random messages coming through. I really want to, like, should I chop up a sample, number 1, or should I use a synth, number 2? So I feel like the typical answer for making EDM or like dance music, right, is like using a synth. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and chop up a sample. So let's go to sounds. I use Serato sample. I still use the built-in sampler in Ableton as well. But overall, the capability to be able to remove certain stems and elements from a beat. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I go into Let's see. It's August. Soul. Let's see. There we go. I just want it to be like fun. So these things up here, you can literally separate out the vocals, the keys, mostly just the keys, meaning the main instruments, the bass and the drums out of this sample that you load in here. And it's pretty turnkey. So we got to find the first hit, which is right there. And then you can click here, find samples, and you can set slicer. And what that'll do is it'll read the beats per minute and it'll chop it up accordingly. So you see all these little lines here, or else it'll chop it up randomly if you do it the other way. So set slicer. So I'm going to get a little more linear with this, and I'm going to go further down here. I'm going to take out the drums, which takes a second to process here. Yeah. And all I'm looking for here is a weird sound. I don't necessarily like, I'll even turn this down even more so these cuts are smaller. But just that right there, you know, taking, am I on the right track here? No. Taking that, going in, and I have this. Okay, so now literally this thing right here, this Woody Effects 2024, I'll probably put this out as a rack at some point for free. I need to kind of work on redoing it. But this limiter, I just crank the limiter, crank the OTT a little bit, cut out some of the low end, maybe to like 48, even slightly saturate it right here, like put some saturation on it, and then reverb. And then sometimes this is probably something I need to put in this rack, is like taking this EQ and just cutting a ton out of this, out of the sample here. So kind of smooth. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Hey. So something as simple as that. And when you quantize it, it almost takes away the feel. So like maybe make it, I don't know, when I quantize that, maybe that one, that has to hit on the one right there. So literally gonna loop that. And now we have a basis, right? Cool. And now comes my favorite part. This is the segment I like to call finding the key of the sample. This is like one of the funnest parts. I'm being sarcastic. I usually go in and find some sort of like piano. Let's see what piano. Just like a regular piano, bro. Come on. That's good enough. Okay, so it's in A minor, I think. Now I'm going to go to a bass sound. Ooh. So another tip when you're sampling, right? A lot of the samples that you're going to use, especially when you chop them up and put all this weird stuff on them, they can get kind of manipulated and be out of tune. So if that is the case, a lot of the time it is for me, you can kind of hear it in this one. Could just be the bass too. Let me see if I can change the sound here. I'm going to go with the homie Omnisphere, one of my go-to plugins. But let's take... let's see. This is half of being a music producer right here, is just going through sounds. I kind of like that one. So there's a good example, right? What I was saying a second ago. You can keep the sample in, but you can cut out a lot of the low ends. So when you want to put in this bass sound, then it works a lot better. That simple. Just kind of do something until it sounds fun enough, and then I stop recording, and then I know that that last take was probably it, you know? at least for like an A part, like the first part of the section. What else we got over here? How's everybody doing? What's up? There's a couple of people on the stream. Let me see here. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Chris? How's it going? Yeah, what's up? Okay, so a couple things I want to do. In most of these EDM kind of tracks, right, where you're not going all the way hip hop or rap, but you're not going all the way EDM, you want to use this ducking plugin or some sort of ducking automation. I use Shaperbox. And what this does is it essentially it automates the volume on a track to the beats per minute. So right now, it's cutting out on the beat, right? And this is the path of the volume. So every quarter note right here, it's cutting out this much of it, and it's bringing it back to full volume here, and then it'll like repeat. So it's like bow, 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 right? And you can't really hear it because it's on the chop part. And I'm gonna also maybe duplicate this to the bass and see what it sounds like. So that's kind of cool. I feel like the bass sound could be gnarlier, if that's a word that is in the dictionary. So I think some high-end-ish distortion would be cool. You can do this. You can totally do this with like stock Ableton plugins, but this is a great one. FabFilter Saturn for just crushing stuff. That's pretty wild how drastically the sound changes right there, you know, like literally, and you can go crazier. I don't want to go too nuts on that. Another cool thing about Saturn is I think you can do the mix, right? So you can, where's the mix? Where's the mix knob, bruh? Oh yeah, so here, mix. So you can do like, oh, it's this thing right here. So you could now do 50%, 60% of the mix of that sound. So literally listen to the before and after. See how it's like bringing it out? I mean, this one, I mean, that sounds like you're farting into an empty toilet paper roll. But then you put this on. Now it sounds like you're farting into a full toilet paper roll. So it sounds much better. All right. I would say that we need some more percussion going on. So I'm going to duplicate this, and this is my drum kit, and I'm going to try to find some more hi-hat stuff going on, or just something to make it a little bit more compelling, a little bit more interesting as melody. Like there's melody, and then we need some more groove, right? So What song is that from? Billie Jean is not my lover. Right? It's kind of just layering some stuff. Another thing you can do, literally, since a lot of these melodies for this kind of stuff, this genre is the same, right? Like I literally have a bunch of like house loops. And I'll just grab one and see what it sounds like. You can spend a bunch of time programming this. It's okay. Let's see what this sounds like. Same one. What about this one? Yeah, cool. Like literally. And then another thing with these is like, right? Just cut out everything. So it's just high end, you know? And there's a lot of reverb on that. And there's a cool plugin that is this one. I'll show you. And it cuts down on the transients. I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. So what it does is it cuts down on transient noise, which means like it just keeps the hits. There's a lot of reverb on this. A lot of reverb going on. So if I just keep the transients, see how all that like space in there just goes away? And then you can use this EQ here. So I have it cranked. It's like 100%. It's like cutting out everything. And you go in here and then you can just cut all this high end right here. I mean, literally cutting out all this high end from like 7K and upward. I'll show you what that visually looks like on an EQ. Look at that. It's like everything is cut. So let me close that. So that being said, it just sounds like little things in the background. And then you take the same shaper box, so it's ducking. Cool. All right, I'm gonna duplicate this sample, see if we can get anything else out of this. I have a lot cut out right now, so oh, let me see. My keyboard's messing up here. Hold up. I have a lot of stuff cut out of this from the low end, so I'm gonna sort of reset it a little bit. And then I'm gonna try to find a little vocal or something like, is there no vocals in this one? That's kind of a cool one. It's literally the same sample. I just moved the sample over, or not the sample, the start time over, right? So I was like chopping it up originally over here, and now it's like over here. So I'm just taking a different part of the song, and now there's just Okay, so I would just add in. Right there, boom. Okay, cool. I like it. So I'm gonna loop that last one. That was cool. Bam. Oh yeah. Just let it ride out a little bit. Very cool. One more thing I'm going to put in here is a lead. Oh, wee! Just literally. So I'll go back to sounds here. I'm going to open up my old trusty Omnisphere. And let's see if there's any leads. Synth mono. Okay. Loud. Almost. Not as annoying. I want it to be like, not that, like whistly. That might work. That might work just easy. And I don't think that's the sound, but simple, right? So easy to do that. One trick. All right, a few things. I have so much going through my head. Right down here, you can set this to legato, which means all of these right here that I just played, make sure you quantize it first if you want to quantize it. Then hit legato, and it'll make it so literally all these are just touching each other. It'll go until it can't anymore. You see, if I had these playing like this and they were shorter, right? Just to give you an example here. Boom. You go in here, highlight everything, go to legato, bam, everything will be touching each other. Cool. That sounds a lot cooler than the last one. The reason I wanted to do this was I want to select everything, and I accept this first one, and I want to glide this over slightly. So these are overlapping. And then when you do that, you can turn up this glide right here. See this glide right here? I don't know. That's legato. This glide is on, so it should kind of. You hear that? I'm gonna make it. I'll make it extreme right here. So it's like slurring. It's like very picky sound design thing. There's some reverb or something on here. There's a delay on here somewhere. It's driving me crazy. There. Then I'm going to put the same plugin on that, because the whole genre of this music, right? EDM, all the EDM dance stuff, some of hip hop, the whole premise is you want the kick drum to be the highlight of the show. So you want to put this on, and what that does, it makes room for the kick drum. Simple, man. So I think we're good. Cool. All right. All I got to do is mess with this a little bit, slap some vocals on it, arrange it, and we should be ready to go. I got to actually dip out. But thank you guys for watching. Give me a follow. I'm going to start streaming all the time and making music. And if you guys produce music as well, give me a shout.